Good evening. Good evening. Welcome all. This is Q from Let's Talk 2. I'm here with my brother Juan Johnson from Lone Wolf Firearms and Training. What's up, brother Juan? Oh, brother Juan, are you there, brother? Your mute is muted. You might get.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, brother. What's going on?
Man, I just got finished a little training session and a little tired, but when you're about that business of trying to get people to become responsible and almost gun users, you do what needs to be done. So good
Yes,
training today. I'm good. I'm in a
absolutely.
good
So,
mode right
so Saturday night when we had the Pat Talk, I had seen some stuff after the great show that we had with Pat Talk for everybody that didn't get a chance to opportunity to talk about the caping that Van Jones was doing, as well as the backtracking that Lord Jamal has done and other stuff. We did an excellent show, 4 hour show. Uh, go to the brother Juan's page. It's on there, and go to my page as well. And it's on there. It's very important that we continue to support each other's channels and remember to really digest what we're presenting, and as Juan always says, the instruction. So last night after we did that, I was taking it down for the night, uh, getting ready because I had to go to work this morning. I saw something in Atlanta where Vice President Kamala Harris was campaigning, and she had brought the singer, artist, songwriter Usher on. And this is the title of the show, Ushered into the Left. For those that don't know, Usher this calendar year had been on the Super Bowl. He had basically been getting a lot of accolades, getting his flowers, as we say,
now.
for his lifetime achievement. He's a middle aged man. Uh, and he had also been in some controversy because basically, when he was a younger artist, his mother sent him to Diddy
Mm,
to learn the trade. So I thought it was interesting that he was campaigning for Vice President Harris after he had been on The View on, I think, approximately September 24th of this year. And I'm going to play two clips. Me and Brother Juan is going to have a short discussion on these two clips. And we're going to, I'm going to ask myself this question as well. I'm going to ask Brother Juan this question is what happened. But before I play the clip, the first clip, let me say, copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for the purposes such as criticism, comment, news, reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, education, and personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. So, because of the Copyright Act, we are using this quick video.
Yes.
And she was very, I thought, very smart the way she did it. It was like, you do your research and you decide for yourselves. But a single cat woman, as she points to, I am voting for Kamala. Do you think, I always say that in this emergency that we're in, I think that behooves artists to come out and speak for Kamala against Donald Trump, because he is an existential threat to the country. What do you say to that?
You know what? I don't get too deep into politics. I didn't get a chance to watch the debate last night. I obviously have been watching like everybody else. I think voting is an individual choice. And I think that you're right. You have to look at the reality of the country that we are and the country that we want to be, and find the candidate that you feel both are who fits the category of where we want to be. Yeah. And that's it. And that's what you vote based off of, who you highlight and how you choose to highlight it on whatever platform you have is your prerogative.
Yes. Yeah.
I thought that was interesting, Brother Juan, is because that was a beautiful explanation by Usher, I believe. I thought he, as a person that at one time in America, we didn't talk about who we voted for. it wasn't as polarizing as it is as appears to be now. And like he said, it's an individual responsibility, an individual right, and who somebody chooses to vote for and chooses not to vote for. It's up to their interpretation. That video, when it came out about a month ago, it sparked a lot of little controversy because The View is very pro left. And that was on the heels of Taylor Swift endorsing Vice President Harris. And if you listen to Joy's word, Joy is basically saying everybody needs to vote for Kamala Harris because Donald Trump is a threat. Brother Juan,
Yeah.
what's your thoughts on that video?
I think it was an interesting video. I was more so looking at Usher's mannerisms. I think that at that video, he answered the question as best as you can answer it. You know, he gave a very, very straightforward, look here, I'm not into the politics piece right now. I think you should vote your own, and get somewhat conscious. I thought he gave a good answer. I thought he gave a solid answer because, again, when you come onto The View, I don't really watch The View because I know The View is just, they lean to the left, super left. And, they just, they are the quintessential, I can't even find words for these jokers, man. Jokers. Court gestures, jokers. That's what they are.
Yeah, and The View has, up until very recently, before I remember they had Elizabeth on there, and Elizabeth was registered Republican, and Elizabeth Hasselbeck, and there used to be problems on there, and now they've just it's basically become a political daytime show. They may have people up there from different walks of life, but they basically focus on politics. We all know Joy is always saying something. Whoopi is always saying something. Sonny's always saying something. So it's always some political jargon going on, and it goes on outside of the campaign timing. Outside of election year, it goes on a lot. So, Brother Juan, I had after seeing this clip, like I said, it had actually went viral with a lot of content creators, and I appreciate all the other creators that was on it because it did appear that Joy was kind of like bullying him into endorsing a politician because at the end of the day, some people aren't into politics like that. They don't want to get caught up in it. They don't want to feel like if they vote a certain candidate, they don't want to be ostracized. They just don't want to do it. Everybody can't talk politics, and everybody don't feel the need to talk politics. I don't even consider Brother Juan myself as a person who wants to talk politics. It just happens to intertwine with what I'm doing here and certain little things, but I'm not into politics like that. I'm just getting into it probably the last 4 or 5 years. But I find it very, very interesting with what I saw this morning via yesterday. And before I play this next clip, Brother Juan, I'm going to say, again, copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for the purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit education or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Now, this next clip, Brother Juan, this was Usher stomping for Vice President Harris yesterday, October 19th in Georgia.
I love you more, but I love Kamala Harris even more. I want her to be our next president of the United States. And we can do it, but we're gonna do it together. One more time. We ready? What? Come on, Georgia. What? One more time. We. Hey. Thank you so much. Vote early. Let's do this. Thank you.
What happened, folks, in less than 30 days? What happened? Brother Juan J. Johnson.
So let me preface this by saying this. I know that we all are entitled to our own votes. Your votes are private, like your mail. But when I think about that View interview with Joy, questioning Usher, trying to get him to make a decision, and he spoke again so eloquently, so firm. He was standing 10 toes down, man, about, hey, vote your conscience. I'm not into the politics. And within 30 days, he's making an endorsement, which he has every right to. But you got to ask the question, what got to him? Who got to him? Because, I'm pretty sure we saw the tail end of his endorsement, but he had a whole prepared speech that he wrote, that he was reading from, and he never once really made eye contact with the audience because he was trying to stay for beta with that speech. And you can see again, I check out people's energy. His energy was off. He was just really off. His energy was off. Although he was there, but I don't really think he was there. So I think that maybe probably somebody got to him.
Well, I could say that I can honestly think, in my opinion, based off of what we've seen, not only did they get to him, but he got the bag. A person would be like, well, they don't have enough money to offer Usher. She's got over $1 billion war chest. They got $1 billion war chest. And because of Usher's being in the media affiliated with Diddy, we all know the games that these people play.
Mm-hmm.
They may or may not have dirt on the brother. I don't know. But I do know is a lot of times these people will endorse a politician for access, promises down the line, opportunities, which I understand. If you're an entertainer, you might wait. If she wins the election, you might have been promised that you'll be part of the inauguration ceremony. But it's just very interesting, Brother Juan, how I believe when he won on The View, yes, he was basically doing a tour to promote his music. Usher had got really, really big in the last year doing the Tiny Table concert, and people started using his memes. Did a fabulous Super Bowl show, and he seemed very not dismissive, but more of, listen, I'm not here to talk politics, but I'm going to give you a good, solid answer that I believe in. He seemed to have a lot of conviction in the first clip when he told Joy, like, it's an individual right. In the second clip, it's bigger than endorsing her publicly. It was more of, oh, you on the campaign trail endorsing her. You're in Georgia, you're home in Atlanta, and you're doing a rally. This is a Stomp speech. And you're telling people like, yo, we need to get her. It just seems that the 180 was so fast and so crazy. Like, what happened? Was he ushered into the left? I
Well,
don't know, you guys. I don't know.
Again, see, here it is. When I think about that first interview, right? And I've watched where I know of Usher doing his Vegas shows. Heck, I was in Vegas sometime last year. I mean, he's been in Vegas for a minute doing them shows, so I can see why he wasn't possibly in tune to the whole politics piece, because he's really been out there getting his lick, getting these shows on, uh, on top of the Super Bowl show. So I can see him not being astute or paying attention. I give him that, and I think that his excuse or his reason on The View, I think that was very authentic. You know, because I know on The View, you know, they want to get you on the record.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you go
So
on
much
The
so,
View,
Brother Juan, that even USA Today and a couple other publications had to basically write articles talking about Usher did not say don't, because he's such a big celebrity that they had to say that Usher did not, by him not endorsing Kamala, it basically was a controversy. Like, because he didn't endorse it, it was no big thing.
because the assumption is all blacks should be endorsing Kamala. That's the assumption. That look, if you black, who else you gonna vote for? You know, there's no question. Your loyalty is to the party. That's anybody who comes on The View is supposedly endorse Kamala. Okay, that's all they talk about is the dislike or Trump being an existential threat, and we need to bring in Kamala moving forward. So if you come on knowing that you're going to get the question, who are you going to endorse?
You ain't
Again,
black if you ain't vote for Kamala.
right. And again, I thought his first explanation was very strong, very clear, very, yeah, it was very, very, very neutral. Vote your conscience, you know. And within 30 days, he done went 180, and he's done doubled down again. He's entitled to whatever opinion or whatever vote he's going to do. But we're paying attention as potential observers. Some people are fans. And yes, I'm pretty sure he will be able to sway some people, because some people out there, they will swear by Usher. Usher does have a base of people. He does have a fan base. Yeah. And they need that.
Yeah.
I think a lot of them need that endorsement. They need all the help they can.
Yeah, it's interesting how their campaign, and I know we talk about it on Pet Talk, the next couple weeks before the election, I think it's 18 days, 18, 19 days before the election. I think that their campaign is making some very strategic moves to try to get the black vote as well as the black male vote. They've been doing a lot of black churches, black organizations, black podcasts, um, trying to show how they believe if the black community, specific and at large, vote for her, how it will be beneficial to them if she's elected president. So I thought it was interesting, but I do think something happened. Something happened, you guys. Some like Brother Juan J. Johnson said. You can vote for who you want. This is our right. This is our right, as we love to say, foreign and domestic.
Yes.
This whole, as they say, mea culpa, this turnaround of what he did is very interesting.
I would love for him to explain, because remember, Well, if you look at the clips, the second clip, there was really he didn't really explain why he did it. I know I saw some clip of a previous video that he talked about. We need Kamala, Momula, and how much he loves her. And look, I don't throw that word love around lightly. For me, love is the term of endearment. I'd rather. Well, yeah. So he was landing on thick. I love you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, I'm just look, Kamala is not the nation's mother. Okay. No matter how these brothers are Usher and those who are the Van Jones want to make her out to be mother.
Sad Jones.
Sad Jones. She is not the mother of the nation. And they're trying to make her a mother of the nation, a woman who, let's keep it 100. She hasn't even bore herself a child. But we're trying to project something on her that that's not even there. I'm not saying she can't do it, but every time these brothers open their mouths, they're talking about some love that we ain't seen
and didn't see it for 3.5 years
and longer.
I mean, it's amazing, and we know that it happens on both sides. But when you are me and Brother Juan fit the criteria for a particular group of American citizens, were black men who have traditionally voted for in masses the Democratic Party. When we're the target right now, we can see in her campaign. So it gives us the right, like I said, and we always want to point out, it gives us the right to speak directly on these issues because right now we are the target audience. And I wonder what type of black men are they really talking to? Are they talking to the Poland Martins, the Sad Jones, the Ushers, the Charlemagnes? Are you talking to grassroots black men and trying to get to understand that why we are not only out on Vice President Harris, but why we're out on the Democratic Party? Because it's twofold, I believe, that's happening. I think people don't understand that black men in particular and black women, some of them, we're done with the Democratic Party. We're done with the benign neglect from the Democratic Party. We're done with the Democratic Party causing confusion into the black family, the black nuclear family. And we're just tired. We see it in our major cities where these black elected officials have done a disservice to the black community. We're tired of the Congressional Black Caucus. And then you have the aspect of the vice president, her history, what she's done as not only just the vice president, as the DA in California. Some people think it's this misogyny thing, which, me personally, and I know I can speak for Brother Juan when I say this, has nothing to do with our critique, assessment, and or criticism of Vice President Harris.
Right.
But we're tired of them. So I don't think their campaign has done enough to understand the problem and the problems and then go into and speak to people like Brother Juan and myself to figure out why we are choosing right now on today that we're out on this party and out on this Kenny.
Well, again, I couldn't have said it no better. When you hear this, I tell people it's 3 types of neglect. Correction, 3 types of abuse. You got the physical abuse that you witness. There was somebody that actually put their hands on you. You got the verbal abuse when somebody just running through the meal. I have nothing good to say. Always just assaulting you verbally, nothing good to say. But the one that is the worst is neglect.
Mm.
Neglect. See, people verbal, you see it coming. You expect them to cuss you out, to belittle you. With the physical, you know the punches are coming, the chokes are coming, the kicks are coming. Some type of weapon is going to be used. But with the neglect, you don't see it coming. Neglect poses the question, what did I do to be neglected? And nobody's dealing with that. Why do you feel that you can neglect Black America and then just show up? Like, just forget about the neglect that we've been showing you and give us your vote. You know,
And then try to come up with an economic plan for Black men that is as useless as a $3 bill.
and still waging a gap between the community. You hear this? When you neglect something, you don't care about none of it. None of it. When you neglect the people or a person, nothing they do count. Prime example, even when you present something to the neglected, you still trying to separate us. You know what I'm saying? Well, we gotta do something for Black, but no, just do something for Black people.
Even when you act like you want to pander to us, you pander the wrong way.
Right.
Because you don't really know our needs because your neglect has went unchecked for so long.
Man, Black America has been neglected so long. It's been an abusive relationship. And we may not have been able to articulate the neglect, although we've been seeing the benign neglect. But if you look at, like I said, the physical neglect or the verbal neglect, you see these things coming. But just ignore a person, don't show up for a person, don't get them nothing. And then we keep asking the question, what did we do? Because we're asking the question, what did we do to deserve this neglect? And the answer is nothing. What you've always did. Just let us ignore you. Get in your corner. And when we show up for some support, give us some support. Be loyal to us and get nothing. So Usher, whoever got to him, I hope it's worth it. Again, you vote your conscience, but again, I've always said, like Malcolm X would say, we don't put our trust in these entertainers. He called them out, Lena Horne, Dick Gregory. He called them out by name. Good entertainers, but they are not who we follow for the survival of our people.
So much so that Dick Gregory actually gave up entertaining.
That's right.
For advocacy for our people.
And I
because
respect
he understood the importance of being a full-time advocate, and that his love for his people was more important than comedy.
And peace be upon Dick Gregory. I'm not, there's no disrespect, but when you put up the tape of Malcolm, he mentioned specifically at that time Lena Horne, Dick Gregory. At that time they were the faces that the dominant culture will put out there for the people to see as your leaders, representatives. He called them out, and you're right. Dick Gregory ran for president, okay, and was an advocate for Black Americans. The Negro for decades. I used to listen to him on I used to listen to him on the radio station on WICB. 1450 with Kathy Hughes in the morning. I remember that.
Wow.
I can remember the whole lineup: Dick Gregory, Kathy Hughes, Bernie McCain. C. Miles. Oh my God, I can go back.
I'm gonna ask you, Brother Juan. before we wrap this up, what do you think when you we were raised on Brother Malcolm saying that?
Yeah.
Brother Malcolm, certain things that he said resonate in the black community, no matter what type of black home, black community you come from, whether it's super affluent, um, not as affluent. Brother Malcolm and Brother Martin's words, certain things that they said resonate. We all know about the ballad or the bullet.
Mm-hmm.
You all know about the chickens coming home to roost. And we know about the statement that you said. I'm going to ask you, Brother Juan, me and you both, we've been raised on this statement about entertainers that were Malcolm eloquently put about how no other communities, entertainers are getting put up as leaders. We know this. There isn't a black person that I know, and probably you know, that has not heard Brother Malcolm's statements.
Right.
From the 60s, and then now we're in 2024, and our entertainers continue to be tools for our politics, not funding the voices like Harry Belafonte, Sidney Poitier. They funded Dr. King and a lot of the brothers back then. They didn't want to be the face. Now, when they had to speak, they spoke, but they gave up a lot of their resources. Why do you think that our entertainers are not taking the valuable jewel that Brother Malcolm left us, and they're continuously being put in a position like we just seen Usher basically flip flop or change positions in less than 30 days?
Well, I'll say this. In the 21st century, it's not about protecting black interests with the entertainers. It's about getting the bag. It's the bag over anything else. The Malcolms, the Martins, the Fannie Lou Hamers, they didn't have a lot. They didn't have no money, man. They was out there because of principle. And even some of our scholars of today who passed away, the Dr. Clarks, the Dr. Benns, the Ivan Van Sertima's, the Amos Wilsons, the Steve Coakleys. These folks didn't die with no money. They didn't have no money, but they had a voice. See, our people, these entertainers, it's about that money. It ain't about the people. As I told you before, I did the law enforcement piece, and law enforcement is different. It's interesting because if you don't know who you are, if you don't have a solid grounding of yourself, you will develop a us against them mentality. And I think a lot of our entertainers, athletes, personalities who are being promoted and pushed, musicians, they have a us against them mentality. Better yet, they have a look here. You're not them. You've made it. You've crossed over. You can't go back there and save them. You're supposed to influence them. They don't have no history. Like Dr. Clark would say, a person, when people who don't put no respect on ancestors, their offspring won't put no respect on them. He's a product of their offspring. He's the offspring that we talked about, that Dr. Clark talked about. No respect on the people. So people like me, yourself, and others who are doing the work, who like that of a Malcolm, a Martin, Ida B. Wells, a Fannie Lou Hamer, a Dr. Ben, a Dr. Clark, Amos Wilson. We're doing the work at the expense of popularity and not having the resources.
And being ostracized and not accepted by your own people.
Yeah.
the very same people that you're advocating for. So, Brother Juan, I appreciate you joining me for this quick discussion. I wanted to talk about it while it was, it may not be a hot topic for everyone, but it may be just something to watch as we continue to be aware and watch our surroundings and watch what's going on and watch. They're talking about October surprises and black swans and all these other catchy phrases that they're using in the election world and election circles right now.
Mhm.
But we need to understand that these words have historical factors as well of what's going on. So we need to pay attention. So I wanted to bring this to both of our audiences to just, inform them and get them to remember, keep their eyes open and be informed of what's going on. Do you have any final thoughts, Brother Juan?
My final thoughts is I want to thank everybody for tuning in. You could be somewhere else, but you're here. We appreciate your time and your attention and your love for our people. Need you to support both broadcasts, both stations. Let's Talk 2 with Brother Q, myself, along with Firearms, and the other brothers on their necks, Vader Bass, Dr. Short, the Angry Man, the Negro. Just show some support. Hit the likes or hit a dislike. Subscribe to the stations and share the video. Subscribe and share, and don't forget to donate. Again, we need you as much as you need us, and we're out here in it to see a better day. And as I always say, stay out these malls and stay out these stadiums and stay out these theaters. You do not want to become no soft target with maximum collateral. And we do have an army on our shores, and they're just waiting for the go sign. So they're already ready to go. So you just be careful out here. Get your responsible gun training and your ammo if you can. If not, get you a bat, a bow and arrow, a Louisville slugger, a Sadello knife. Get something to protect yourself, because when it goes down, you need to be able to protect yourself, your family, your friends, possibly your community, maybe the city you're in, the county, the state, and you just may have to protect the nation. Again, as me and Q always say, we are supposed to be defenders of and watching out for foreign and domestic enemies. We're surrounded, so be mindful of your circumstances.
And until then, great way for Brother Juan to end the broadcast. Take care and see you guys next time.
What have you done for me lately? It's Coons. What have y'all done for us lately? And if there's no answer, the only thing we owe them